pull one up right now, one that I actually use quite often. Let's see. There it is. Now, if you look at the ship here, you can see it's just has a big face full of drills, and the rest of the ship is smaller than the face of drills, so that once you get it drilling, the rest of the ship will fit in the hole behind the hole that's made by the drills. So it's a perfect ship for auto mining, which is actually what its primary purpose is. You notice it is a drone. There's the drone control unit right there, and there's a sensor, and there's actually a camera. Well, let's see. Well, there will be a camera. Let's just put it that way. Right there. Okay, so here's the idea. You take the drill assembly and you actually set that as a group. So if we go here, and we'll just get into it right now. Alright, we'll get into the control panel and just find all the drills and make a group out of them. And we'll call that the drill group. Okay. And then we take these last two small engines, the small thrusters, that one and that one. Okay, and we set them by themselves as a group separate from all the other thrusters. And I believe those are the last two that went on, so they should be the last two on the list. And we'll just turn them off right now. We'll just call this the thruster group. Like that. Now, if we go back here to the control panel, we go to the thruster group, we turn them off, we should be able to see that they're off here on the ship. So now we know we have the right group. So now what you do is you take both of those groups together and you make another group out of them. And you call that Automine. And as you save, there you go. And then, so now there's a group of drills and the last two thrusters. Okay. Oh, by the way, we have to turn the thruster group up just a little bit. Actually, I like about somewhere between 3.5 to 4 kilonewtons of force for the thruster group. All right. Now what you do is you go find that sensor that's in the front, this one here, and you leave everything at 5 meters here, the left, the right, the bottom, the top, the back, but you want to turn the front extent to 20 meters. Okay? And then you want it to detect the asteroids. And you set up this action here. You go to groups and you turn on auto mine for the initial action. This actually the sensor will do this thing when it first senses whatever it is that it's set to sense, and then it does the second thing when it senses when the thing goes away. So right now, if I set it for asteroids, as soon as the sensor picks up an asteroid, it'll turn on that group. That's the thrusters and the mining heads. And then so theoretically, it'll just drill a hole through the asteroid, and when it comes out the other side, the sensor will turn off, and it will turn off that group, that very same group of thrusters and drill heads. So you could actually have a self-regulating mining ship. This is a ship you would not have to monitor. You wouldn't have to take control of it and have it drill and require you to point it out. All you have to do is just take it up to an asteroid, and you turn on the sensor and you set it off, and it does its thing, and when it's done, it stops. This design is actually not very new. I've actually been using it for quite a while. This design is probably about as old as the one that Sage has been more famously using, though I have to admit his probably looks a little bit prettier than mine does. Certain drawbacks with the design or the use of the large container. I have found that these large containers, for some reason, if you overfill them in a survival environment, they literally will explode. And I've actually had one of these ships explode because the container just got too full. Okay, that being said, if you just let it take a trip through an asteroid, probably it won't come close to overfilling just on one trip. So you could theoretically empty it out between trips. So if we go in here and we go to the control panel, we're going to control A to pick everything, and I'm going to set all that to me like that. And then I'm going to take control of the ship and fly it into an asteroid. So if I look here, there's the Autominer. And we're just going to go to the remote control, which is there, and take control of it. And then I'm going to find the camera, which will be this one. And we're going to point it at our asteroid here. Okay, now before we get too close, let's go look at the sensor. The sensor is set to detect asteroids, so we should be okay there. So now what we're going to want to do is basically put the sensor here on the control panel so that we can turn it on and off, because really you don't want that thing on. It can be a hassle if it's on and you're not ready for it to be on. So there we go. So now we have our sensor there. So if we go over here and we just pick a likely spot, like that one right there. Look, there's a little bit of ore sticking out right there. And we'll just take our little mining ship and we'll guide it up to the point on the rock where we like it. And then we'll turn it on. And now we can get out of the ship. And we can go up and watch it from the back. And as you see, actually we're upside down in relation to the ship. As you see, those two little thrusters are in the back, very gently pushing on the ship, and it is just drilling away. Just a little too far away. So, you can see that the container's starting to fill up, and the drills are picking up ores. And everything is pretty much working the way it's supposed to work. We'll turn on our light so we can just take a look at it. And we'll just follow along behind it and watch it until it's finished. And there we go. The ship has actually mined its way through the rock. It has made a very nice, fairly straight little hole. Just like that. Okay. Now, the cool thing about this ship over most mining ships is while we were following it, we really didn't have to. We could have actually been building on our survival station, our survival base, or our ship, or whatever it is that we're building in survival, and we could have actually just let this ship go ahead and mine its way through an asteroid, and so we don't have to waste our time controlling it. And as you look at it here, you see it's actually picked up about 40,000 liters, and I believe a large cargo container is something on the order of what, 120 or 270,000 liters of volume. And you can see, look at what we got. And I just, I didn't pick anything special. I didn't pick a special spot. I just found a spot that looked good and set it up to go. And it basically cut a hole in everything in the asteroid. So we have some uranium, we've got a lot of iron here, we've got some nickel, we've got some silicon, and obviously we have some stone. Normally I just get rid of the stone because it's what are you gonna do with it? That's you end up with, in this kind of situation, you end up with just tons and tons of stone and nothing to do with it. And then you could let's go ahead and take control of the ship again, which is there. And now you could just fly the ship back to you could fly the ship back to your station, to your refining station, and empty it out and go set it off again. And now, yeah, I've actually lost contact with the drone just because I'm on my personal antenna, and it only has a range of 200 meters. But yeah, that's the Autominer. Now that's actually a very efficient design, and I'm actually quite impressed with it. Some people don't like the spotlights. I kind of like it because that way I can actually look through and I can see where I am in the asteroid in the drone's cameras, and I can tell if I need, how much further it has to go, or what it is I'm actually drilling through. That's what I like about having spotlights on it. But beyond that, it's a pretty purpose-filled design. There are no extra parts on this ship. Everything it has, it actually needs. There's nothing here that you could actually take off except for maybe this camera right here on the back. But I prefer to leave this here so that you can actually, it serves as an eye so that you can dock the ship to your station. And I'll actually dock the ship over here now and just demonstrate that. And here, let's just set up a group on this so that makes this easier to use. Okay, so we'll just take control of it, and we'll fly the ship in. And it flies. It's pretty fast for a utility ship. I mean, it doesn't have any large thrusters on it, and it's pretty nimble. So we'll just go catch up to it again. And we'll make sure that these turrets are off, because I didn't set up ownership on the station, and I don't want them shooting up my ship. Okay, so let's just set up ownership here so we can connect. Just Control A, set up to me, and there we go. So now I can actually just sit here in the chair, and we'll just take control of the Autominer. Right there, just like that. And we can actually link up to a connector like this one. And we'll just set the other camera here so we can see it. And now remember, this camera is actually above our connector, so we want to line up to a space just above the station connector, kind of like there. It's hard doing this in reverse. Okay, and when we get close, obviously the connector picks us up, and there we go. Okay, now that we've been connected, it should actually drain all of the ore right out of the machine almost immediately. And as you see, all these entries with the white letters, that's actually the machine, that's actually the drilling ship. And these entries with the orange letters are the station. And you can see there it all is right there. That's everything I picked up. It drained right out of the ship and poof right into the reactor or into the refinery. So now theoretically I could take control of the ship again and send it right back out just like this, and as you see, we are flying away. And look, here's another asteroid. And we'll just turn the sensor off now because we're getting close, and if we turn it on right now, the ship will actually accelerate uncontrollably. And we'll finish flying back out here. And look, there's another spot right there. So let's just turn on our sensor and let's just watch it go for a minute, as you see, and bam, there we go, we are in. And now we can actually just leave it, and there it is over there doing its thing, and we can come over here and do our thing.